So a question came in recently, which is, what habits do we practice to have a healthy, thriving relationship? And if you didn't know, I spent years actually interviewing America's greatest marriage to discover what creates a thriving, happy relationship. So I thought this was fun when this question got asked about us. So we went to the drawing board and we each came up with 2 habits that create a thriving, happy relationship. Check it out. So in case you didn't know, this is my amazing wife, Irene Boggs.
Hello.
And I appreciate you doing this video with me.
Thank you for having me.
So we masterminded on habits that create healthy marriages. And so we've each got 2 that we're gonna share for you. And Irene's gonna kick us off here. What's the first habit?
Well, the first habit is take turns getting crazy. Now, when there's an argument that comes up, only one person is allowed to get a little bit crazy, or let's just say emotionful, and the other one needs to be real chill and cool as a cucumber.
Good. Ideally, one of you
Only
gets
one.
crazy at
Yes.
the time.
This is a good opportunity for the calm person to listen for cues of how to love the excited person more. So usually this is like a call for love. So when your partner's getting crazy and they're blowing up about something, just you as the calm person that's listening to what they're fired up about,
Hopefully calm.
hopefully calm,
'Cause, yeah,
Right?
yeah. Well, the tendency is to want to get defensive.
Yes.
You know.
and the defensiveness comes and builds up on both sides. If you're
Right.
both excitable and full of emotion, it'll explode.
Yeah.
Basically, the conversation will explode and you guys won't get to a good conclusion.
Right.
So rather than exploding, keep calm, and you see your partner's going a little crazy, then remind yourself, what are they actually asking for? They're most likely asking for love. In some way or another, they're asking for another step of love from you. And the way that they're saying it is very fired up. So just remember, keep cool, and you guys will come to a better conclusion. So let me give you an example. The other night, I created an amazing dinner, and I took all the prep time, delivered it really well. You know, Matt said thank you. But for whatever reason, at the end of the night, I didn't really hear the thank you to begin with. And so I came to Matt. I started getting a little crazy. I could feel the emotions coming up. I mean, they were coming up to the point where they were welling in my eyes. And I'm like, I just don't feel like I got enough acknowledgement. Can I get a little love over here? And Matt, I could see him starting to get defensive. But instead of coming at me in a defensive way, he really calmed himself down and was very cool about it and was like, okay, tell me more. And at that point, he's like, babe, I love you. Thank you so much. Even if he didn't want to say that in the moment, he was like, babe, you did a great job. I loved it. Dinner was delicious. And it totally diffused the situation, which was wonderful. So him being cool was very cool.
Well, and because at the end of the day, if both people get crazy, then it's going to turn out to be a bad night. When we say crazy, get heated, get angry, get defensive, get frustrated. And so I knew in that moment I had a choice. I was like, I said thank you. I acknowledge that. And so you're looking for, what's the thread of truth here? What is it this person really needs in this moment? And so she was saying, I need more acknowledgement. I need much more acknowledgement than you gave with regards to this dinner. And so I was like, okay, how can I step in? Now, here's the key though. If the same person, when we say getting crazy, what we mean is getting emotionally charged, either defensive or accusatory or angry or resentful, all of that. If the same person in the relationship is doing that over and over and over again, then that's not good either. You have to take turns.
Yeah.
Lots of time. There are moments when I get frustrated or upset about something, and Irene will choose to be the one that says, okay, I'm going to hear you out, I'm going to listen, and then we're able to resolve that issue. And so you've done a great job of balancing me on, we've done a good job taking turns
Together.
who's getting crazy.
Definitely. So Matt, tell me about tip number 2.
All right. Tip number 2 is called shovel while the pile is small. And what that means is there's going to be moments of frustration in any relationship. Things that get done that we didn't want done, things that aren't getting done, we want done, all of that. And so when you're feeling frustrated, bring it up right away. Don't harbor resentment. Don't harbor frustration and let that stuff build up. So, for example, I like to drink these little sodas called Zevia, where there's zero sugar. They're kind of probably the healthier soda that you can get. So I like these sodas, and Irene has asked me time and time again to put the can in the recycle bin. We have this recycle bin outside. So there's times when I'm forgetting to put the can in the recycle bin. I get busy, I get distracted, I'm focused on something else, focused on work, and I'll put the can down. I'm thinking I'm gonna put it in the recycle bin, and I forget and I leave. And then she'll take it and put it in the recycle bin. What she does a really good job of is coming down and saying, babe, I feel frustrated, I've asked for this, and here it is out again. Would you please put this in the recycle bin? Instead of harboring that resentment, she shares it immediately. Shovel while the pile is small. The worst case scenario is for her to not say anything. And then the next time not say anything. And the next time not say anything. And then when I leave a can out, it becomes a major deal and an explosion of anger and emotion happens. That's how blowout fights happen. Yeah. So shovel while the pile is small. The other thing in a relationship is there's a rule called fair fighting called don't bring up the past. In other words, don't stack the bad. She doesn't say, hey, you left this can out, and last week you left a can, and 2 months ago you left a can, and last year you left a can. That's called stacking the bad. And that's a toxic communication style. So instead, when you're communicating, why you shovel while the pile is small is so you avoid having to stack all these bad things that you just have been harboring over a longer period of time. It helps keep the communication lines open, helps keep the feeling clean of any resentment of the past. So shovel while the piles are small has served us in a really good way.
Yeah. So tip number 3, this is called respect each other. Now in this one, I like to think of it more like no teasing. I'm sure I grew up with a ton of teasing with my brothers, but when it comes to a relationship, I like to have a certain space, a respectful space, where we don't tease each other to the place of discomfort, or just teasing in general for me is not as comfortable. So
this is one I had to learn, because I grew up in a house where we teased and teased and teased, tickling till the person cried, just all kinds of teasing in the house I grew up in. So for me, kind of teasing was normal. And so I brought that teasing into our relationship early on, and she wasn't having it.
Yeah, I remember this one time, it was one of our very first dates, and we went out to Olive Garden.
Which was lovely.
Which was great. And as we're walking from the restaurant to the car, I'm walking in front of Matt, he's behind me somewhere. I was about to look back when I feel a kick to my butt. And I went, whoa, what? It fired me up instantly. I could not even believe that he just kicked me in the butt.
Yeah.
And I immediately...
It's playful, just boop, little kick, you know?
But to me it wasn't playful.
No.
I remember in that moment just saying, this is not cool. If you want anything to do with me, this is not the way we tease. We don't treat each other this way. I don't consider teasing as a respectful, good way of treating each other.
Now look how nice this face looks as she's saying this. Look how sweet and just nice.
I was
No,
angry.
that was not the face she gave me in that moment. She was like, oh no, you didn't. That will not happen in my face. If you want to date me, you will not be doing that ever again.
Let's just say I put my foot down.
Yeah, she did.
I
She
was
put
like,
her foot
this
down.
ain't happening. So I was angry, but I think it set a really good place for us to know how to treat each other, that I'm not okay with that kind of behavior, and it set a good place for us to move forward.
Well, what's cool is that the America's Greatest Marriages, when I interviewed couples all over the U.S. about what creates healthy marriages, respect was the #1 principle. And I think it's such a vague term, it's hard to know exactly what respect looks like. And I never knew that teasing was a form of disrespect.
Wow.
Teasing in the way where we're on opposing sides. You know, there's playfulness when we're both having fun and kind of, you could say teasing, but you're both on the same team, you know, teasing where it's me against you. And so we've taught this is a form of disrespect. And we've taught this to our kids. Yeah. And we've said teasing is not okay. And they say, well, how do I know when I'm teasing? And I'm like, look, when one person's laughing and the other person's crying, that's teasing.
Yes.
So our kids now will say, no teasing, that's against the rules. And they learn how to play together without teasing one another. And it's a skill I wish that I had been taught growing up. But showing respect, respecting one another has been a major, major advantage for creating a healthy, happy relationship.
Absolutely.
And the fourth habit that has served us in our marriage is never stop dating. Now, we are 9 years into this marriage and 3 kids later from when we got married, 13 years from when we met.
Yes.
And we strive to live into these habits. We're not perfect at this, but we strive to live by these and get better each and every day. Never stop dating. Well, this year when COVID hit, we have 3 little kids. And so it was a good 5 months where your parents, like we didn't have a nanny coming over, we didn't have your parents coming over. And so we were just on lockdown with our kids and no dates. Yeah. And I didn't realize, because we had always made an effort every single week to go out on a date. Couples who've been married over 50 years, they will often say, never stop dating. Make sure that you're carving out at least once a week, one-on-one time with each other. So after 5 months, I didn't realize how thirsty I was for just one-on-one time with you. I remember the first time it was kind of restrictions had lightened, your parents came over, they took care of the kids in a safe way, but we got our first like 3-hour date where we were able to go have some food and take a walk. We got sushi, took it down to the beach, brought a blanket, ate sushi on the beach. And my mind was blown by how much I missed that. I was like, I didn't even know how much I was craving that time. And that one-on-one time is so critical. It's so critical for the cooperation. It's so critical to remind you that yes, you're not just living together, but you're passionate partners with one another. And
you enjoy spending time together, and you enjoy talking to each other without anybody else interrupting or tugging on your leg or shirt or anything. It was really nice.
Really nice. So never stop dating, even if there's a global pandemic. Find a way that you can date and that you can have fun and that you can fuel the relationship. Because the relationships that we cultivate at the end of the day, in my opinion, are the most important things. It's not about a house or a bank account or the cars or books or achievement, any of that. At the end of the day, at the end of our lives are measured by the quality of the relationships that we have. And so my question for you is, what habits have you found cultivate a happy, thriving, romantic relationship? Put that in the comment section below. And if you like this video, take a moment, get subscribed. Click that little bell that gives you the notifications, because every week we bring you fresh new content to empower you in your love life. I appreciate you. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you soon.